This one's going to launch on what?
On the SpaceX Falcon 9 Heavy, or Falcon Heavy. It's the first one that they've done. All the ones they've done so far have had one core first stage. This one's going to have 3 core first stage, so it's a really heavy lifting deal.
So it can carry more.
So it can carry
a
more.
lot more payload.
But the real question is, it's a new platform. So they're going to launch one before what they launch with us, and hopefully it works.
What else will be in that load?
I don't know what are the other satellites, but they have an ESPA ring on there, which is basically this ring that comes up and it has 4 attach points, and we'll have one of the attach points, or we'll be in the middle. It seems like you can load in the middle as well.
But you've got a slot.
We've got a slot.
Who dictates payload?
It's called the SERB. It's the I can't remember what it stands for. It's one of those acronyms that you can't really define, but it's basically where a bunch of guys come to this board and they say, hey, we want to launch
everybody
an
comes
experiment.
to them and say,
hey, we want a free ride on one of your government sponsored launch, one of your government sponsored
we want this in
rides.
space and we want you to take it.
And they rack and stack all of them. And every year we get an astronaut to go up there first of all with them. Gary Payton, he goes up there with them, and we have a bunch of cadets breathe it. And we always do really well because we're really well prepared.
Gary Payton, former point guard for the Seattle Supersonics.
Different guy.
His doppelganger.
But the funny thing is, we were on the Falcon 1. I think that was what it was called, the Falcon 1, the first launch that SpaceX ever tried to do out of Kwajalein. We did that in 2006. And that's when they were taking up FalconSat 3, which is this guy right here. Nope. Actually, this is FalconSat 2, but FalconSat 3 I think is down below. Actually, you can see it. Come here. Yeah. You can see it right down here, and you'll see it looks a little bit damaged. So it's that one right there. And you see stuff that's like busted up and everything?
Yeah.
So here's what happened. I was actually watching the launch right here, and the launch perspective was, anybody got a pencil?
Sorry.
Yeah. Here we go. All right, so here's the rocket. And it's the camera's looking down, right? So you're seeing like the ground and stuff.
Camera's mounted on the side of it.
Yeah, it's like a GoPro mounted
Right.
like here, before GoPros happened. But so you're like looking at the ground. So this thing launches, and everything's good, and you start seeing Kwajalein, and it's getting bigger and bigger, and now it's starting to turn into like a speck of the ocean. And all of a sudden you start seeing horizon, and then you start seeing sky. Like, this is not going very well, right? And so the next thing you know, it fuzzes out. The thing hits the ground. It actually hit an atoll. So here's what happened. These things are shipped to the launch site before they're integrated, put on the vehicle in a little packing crate. So they bring this thing on a boat onto Kwajalein Island. They put it in this shed, and they unpack it from this packing crate, take it down the road, put it on top of the rocket, stand the rocket up, and then launch it, right? Well, what happened was this thing, when it landed, when it crashed, it hit this atoll, but it hit it butt down, right? Like the rocket engine, by the time it had flipped all the way over and it like broken up a little bit, it hits, it blows up, and so the payload's facing outward. So the force, the explosion, drives the payload that way, puts it on a ballistic trajectory. It lands, goes to the top of that shed where it landed, and it lands next to the crate that it was shipped to the island in.
Are you serious?
Dead serious. And so they go back in the shed, they're like, oh crap, whatever, gonna go get that thing. Like, there's a satellite laying in the shed.
That is crazy.
Where it started.
Where it started. Isn't that the craziest
That's
thing?
the craziest
And that's
thing.
why we have a satellite. That's the flight model satellite right there, the one that actually launched, and that's why it's busted up.
So that
How
thing,
far out are you guys, how far out do they make that schedule? 2 years, 3 years?
It's supposed to be
Is it
like
pretty
1 or 2
fluid?
years,
Is it pretty
but
fluid?
it always slides to the right.
where is where you mentioned this where the launches are taking place? Where are they taking place?
That one was at Kwajalein.
Where's that?
That's a atoll out in like the South Pacific. Yeah, I think the South Pacific.
So
No,
there's-
it's
So
north.
it's an island.
It's above the equator, but it's in the Pacific. Yeah.
So we have multiple places.
Oh yeah, Vandenberg you can launch from.
Vandenberg's that's California.
California. Canaveral you can launch from. Kwajalein is a lot of times they'll do like nuke tests and stuff like that from there. They like
Right.
launch ICBMs and stuff. But they were just new, so nobody wants like Cape Canaveral didn't want like this brand new company coming down and
Yeah.
starting up a brand new rocket.
Messing with their mojo.
Yeah.
What's the one in Virginia?
Wallops Island. Out of Wallops they do mostly sounding rockets. like weather balloons or weather rockets.